Now I'm trying to hold off taking some cough medicine because I can then take some nighttime cough medicine and I'll sleep for 6 hours. I won't fall asleep at the keyboard. Problem is if I take some daytime cough syrup right this minute, I won't be able to take the nighttime one when I go to bed. I could take a cough drop. So, the good news so far on this farm, we have finished ploughing. No, we have finished harvesting every field we bought. Except 10, which wasn't in a harvestable state. So we just ploughed it in. We are now in the process of planting every field we bought. That's one thing I didn't check. What's plant growth rate is at normal. Okay. I have a lot of hours on both. I think my latest count on World of Warships, because I don't have World of Warships through Steam, I bought it, I downloaded it direct from Wargaming website because it wasn't available on Steam when I got it. I have over 8,000 battles played in random battles. I then have quite a few more what do they call them? The PvE missions. I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head right now. And I've also got a fair number of co-op battles as well. So I hate to think how many hours that works out to. I mean, theoretically, you can average about 3 and a bit battles per hour. Each battle's 20 minutes. Some of them will go almost the duration. Others can be substantially shorter, but yeah, if you're staying alive until the battle ends, then you're not able to sort of jump ship and get a few battles in that sort of time. So when I copy the stream across to YouTube for posterity's sake, I'll split it into a break every 3 battles. So each video dropped on YouTube will generally be 3 battles, unless it's the last video from that stream, in which case it could be only 1 or 2 battles depending. I try not to put 4 battles on a video because that'll push you over an hour. And for the most part, most of them are about 45 to 50 minutes long. Because occasionally, if I'm playing if I'm playing with a group, then there will be discussion on what ship we should take next, or whatever, or whose turn it is to choose the next ship, that type of thing. So, figure out 8,000 divided by 3. That's how many hours I've got. No, that's a horrible number. That's over 2,000 hours. I'm not sure how many I've got on trucking. I think I've got more on ETS than I have on ATS. think just because the ETS2 map is far more comprehensive than the ATS map, and I kind of want to get around and see everywhere. So, yeah. It took me all of maybe a few hours to explore Oregon, and it probably took me 5 to 6 hours to explore Italy, and I've still not completed Italy on my primary profile. So that's kind of the difference between the two, at least for me. If you give me more places to go and things to do, then I'm going to take longer completing your game. Sure, we are going to have enough seed to do this entire field. And maybe we do. There's a couple of patches to do. It's going to be close, I think. Okay. I'm also not sure how many hours I've got on Farm Sim 19 yet either. I know there are people out there with far more hours than I've got. Little patch there. Little patch over there. Oh, I messed that up. There we go. And a long patch over here. We've still got 16 corn left. We might actually make it, guys. Wow, I used one seed in the whole of that stretch. Or 1 litre of seed in the whole of that stretch. Tap that off. So that's our cornfield. Kind of thinking this setup is probably limited to this tractor. The smaller Fendt might find it a little bit unwieldy. Because it's light. So, I am going to drop this over here. Put the tank over here. And then we'll go and do the last of the lime spreading. because that's preventing me from planting field 27, I think. We'll check the map again. Okay, yeah, field 27 needs lime. So once we've done that one, I'm going to need to plough 26 because that's just in a harvested state. This is nearly done, so we'll be able to move this one over to here. What else have we got to do? Then we're probably going to plant sunflowers on 27, and I'll do canola on 26, so this guy will have to come up to 26 to plant that one too. So yeah, I don't know. As I said, we're in ATS. We're going to be operating out of Flagstaff for the next few weeks, or for the next few sessions, should I say, because obviously we don't play weekly. And as soon as Washington comes out, we'll be shipping operations back up to Oregon and working out Portland into Washington State. So 27 needs lime. This is 27. Okay, run that to about there. And set him off on his merry way. We've still got half a tank of seed, or just under. I'm going to have to reload that because obviously field 13 looks like it's a little bit bigger than 12. Might be the same size. But even if it's the same size, I've only got 46% of a tank left. So I definitely don't have enough seed to do 13 in one go. Oops. Doink into the hedge and fence. Do that one and one more. There we go, field done. So we'll run back to the central yard, get this thing filled up, come back to 13. No, we won't bother. I was thinking, should I just plant some seed there where the little gaps are? Nah. Just run up to the store and refill. And the next one's going to be soybeans. I could do the soybeans in the blue seeder, of course. It's got a better work width and it fertilizes at the same time. And there we go. 437. That's very close to the right price. No, it's a little cheaper. 437 for more than 500 litres of seed. So we were down to about 446%. Oops. Sticks inside hedges. Now the other thing I'm thinking about is for where I'm taking down the fences and what have you, is to chop down the fence post and then chip the subsequent stick of wood. Wow, that is getting very white. Okay, you've finished on the last row. Congratulations. Taking some of these hedges down. That's more than enough. So 157 for 780, it's about 400 for 2000. I don't know how close that is. That's complicated math. It's too late in the day to figure that out. The other thing I should think about doing is plant some poplars for when the Anderson DLC comes out. Okay, so get us 27 done. We've ploughed this one already, so it's good to plant. There we go, we have 53 left. Duh. This. Okay, I'll put that there. We should probably rinse it out because the next thing that's going to be doing is fertilizing. Okay. And this time we won't drop it from a great height. How about that? We'll go around the long way. bottom, I will run along the top. I'll set a worker loose on it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fields. And we can do that because they're small and cheap. When I start a map, I kind of like to get as much land as I can because it's obviously the biggest income potential you can have. This map, because it has some very small fields, you don't need big equipment to work them. And obviously because you can chop down the hedges and the fencing, it's not a problem to expand the farm so long as you're buying fields that are adjacent. So at the moment I have this big cluster of fields around the main yard. 21 is kind of an outlier, but this field right in front of me right now, I could buy 25 and actually combine 25, 26 and 31 as one big L-shaped field by chopping down the fence. At which point I'm going to be wanting one huge huge harvester and some larger seeding and ground preparing equipment. Okay, what do I want to do? I want to do that. And off he goes. So, I mean, you look at these fields. Let's go to lands. That cost me 47. That cost me 50. That's the yard. So 52 I got 10. I didn't particularly want what was in 10. 1361. 12 is 53. 11 is 21. And 21 is 72. So that's probably about the most expensive field I bought. So that's a big field. Now I could easily buy this one. That's another 55. We got the money for that. We could buy that one, which is only 39. That one's 57. That one's 46. Yeah, cheap fields. This is a grass field and quite expensive. So probably not getting that one for a while. 20 is 43. I can pretty much buy any of these fields except, well, I can even afford that one, but if I buy that one, that's all I'm buying. And I can't afford 6, but any other field in this block, well, it's 28. Yep, I can afford 28. Any single field in this block I can afford. Obviously some of the smaller ones I can buy more of. But what I'm really looking at is that field is ready to harvest. So if I buy that, I run the risk of it being withered before I can get a harvester to it. So probably not going to buy this one right now. However, 15 and 16 are ready to harvest. I could buy those and get an immediate return on my investment. Which is what I did with excuse me, I need a drink. Hang on a sec. So 27, 26, 21, 11, 12 and 13 all needed to be harvested pretty much immediately, which is why I'm spending all my time today reseeding most of them. How much is 16 as a matter of interest? That's 51,000. I could buy that. What's in it? Do I have the equipment to harvest it? That's sunflowers. Oh my goodness. So I could buy this field and harvest it because I have sunflower header. 18, oh, 18 is corn, and I don't have, that's not ready to harvest yet. That's still growing. So I'm kind of holding off until a field's ready to harvest, and then I'll go out there, buy it and harvest it, because as I said, I can afford any of these fields. What I'm a little bit more interested in is that's expensive, that's cheap, 21,000. 160. I cannot afford to buy the potato harvesting equipment, and the reason I'm interested in that, nope, let's go back to him, let's press that button there, because field 9 contains potatoes, and if I can buy that and harvest that, this silo will store potatoes, so I can just harvest it and drop the potatoes in here. I can then take those potatoes and seed any other field with them. And seeding potatoes is a real pain in the butt, because it takes about 10 times more seed to plant a potato field as it does to plant the field with wheat or barley or canola. So potatoes are incredibly inefficient to plant, but because they're such high yield, using the potato crop that you just harvested to plant a field is a cheaper way to work, and then you sell the rest of the potatoes you have for more money. And I never really do potato harvesting, because the harvesting equipment just doesn't have the operating capacity that the sugar beet equipment has. And we can go back to that. This has a 3.2 meter header. This has a 1.8 meter header. So you run them separately. You're going to run a tractor over top the field, and then you're going to run over with this, and it's got a 1.8 meter working width. So it's going to take you a while to pull up the potatoes. Plus, it's only got 9,276 litre capacity. Now, if I want to do sugar beets on the cheap, I can buy one of these, which has an operating capacity of 3 meters. What was the potato one again? 3.2. So they had the toppers are equivalent. It's kind of similar. But when we get down to the harvester itself, this has an operating capacity of 3 meters. The other one was only 1.8. It has only 6,000 litre capacity. I thought it did have a bigger capacity. I think it's when you get to the motorized equipment. So if we go here and pick this one, it has under 10,000 litres and a working width of, doesn't tell me the working width. Why doesn't it tell me the working width? Am I being stupid? Or do you have... No, that's an all-in-one piece of equipment, so it should tell me the working width, but it doesn't. Now, if we look at the sugar beet one, this one here, which is what we had on Farm Sim 17 as well, has over 4.5 times the capacity of the potato harvester. And its working width is... working width of a sugar beet harvester, 5.4 meters. So you don't have to keep running backwards and forwards to your sugar beet harvester to empty it quite so often as you do with a potato one. Now obviously on smaller fields with the tractor hauled equipment, actually the potato harvester is marginally better than the sugar beet harvester because it's got the larger capacity. And in these, in potatoes and sugar beets, because, you know, one row you're going to get 9,000 litres of potatoes. You have to unload it every time it goes up and down the field. And you either need a very large trailer and a very fast tractor and a very close silo that can hold potatoes, or you can dump the potatoes on the floor somewhere, or your harvester is going to be sitting around waiting for you to complete your transport to wherever you're holding your potatoes to empty it again, and it ends up sitting around waiting for you for more time than it spends pulling potatoes out of the ground or pulling beets out of the ground. So that's why when I'm operating the big beet and potato harvesters, I'm going to prefer beets, because it's 45,000 litre capacity, and even then you're running around like a headless chicken getting it unloaded and what have you. Anyway, that's nearly done. That's still working, so I guess I can take over on this when it gets to the end. You lift that up, I'll turn you off. But consequently, since I've never done potatoes, and these fields are so small we'd never get the big potato harvester around very efficiently, I figured, yeah, this is probably a good farm to experience potatoes on. I could also consider sugar beets as well. I think on law folds I do use the tractor hauled sugar beet equipment as well. Which I probably shouldn't, because law folds does have the capacity that you could use the bigger harvester. It's just that I can't afford it. Well, that's a lie, you know. I choose not to be able to afford it. There are other pieces of equipment I would prefer to have, or more land I would prefer to have before I got a sugar beet harvester. And the only reason I grow sugar beets on law folds is to feed the pigs. I'm not doing it as a going concern of income. Now, obviously you plant a field of sugar beets and you get 30 pallets out to feed your pigs for the next 20 years, and you sell another 400,000 litres off the field, but yeah, that's a lot of work. It takes way too long when you compare it with a similar value crop, not quantity crop, like soybeans or wheat or something. I can harvest 3 or 4 wheat fields in the time it takes to harvest the same size of one sugar beet field. And 3 wheat fields will make me more money. Hi TSM Bolt, how you doing? I am on PC. I still haven't seen Arthur go live yet. Anyway, it's getting up to 11:15, so I'm pretty much considering finishing off this field. I'll get the seeder reloaded on this tractor, put the plough away, and I'll probably be looking at calling it a night for now. I will be back tomorrow morning with a live studio audience who are going to get into all sorts of mischief, and my wife's out at the dentist, so I'll be looking after them at the same time. So we'll see how we fare tomorrow morning with law folds. I'll try and get started around 9 o'clock, maybe a little before, maybe a little after. But one thing I need to make sure is the kiddies are fed and happy and not messing with stuff they're not supposed to mess with, and we'll play the entire thing by ear. As far as the kitchen went, we had our general contractor around today, and he's completely rewired the switch work in the kitchen so that the lights now work sensibly. They're supposed to be 2 switches, one at each end of the kitchen, operator light. And unfortunately, the way the cowboy who built this place set it up was you have to turn both light switches to the on position in order to have the light on. And if any one switch is in the off position, or both are in the off position, no light comes on. So completely impractical when it comes down to I want to be able to turn the light on no matter where which part of the kitchen I enter. So our contractor's rectified that little problem. He's installed a new light fixture in the kids' room, which includes a fan because it gets quite hot in there during the summer, because it picks up the afternoon sun. The upstairs living room likewise has also got a new light fixture with a fan. I think that's just the 2 lights he installed. So he's still got 3 lights to replace in the kitchen, and 1 in the hallway and 1 in the spare room. But it's all good. He also said he was going to bring around the flooring today, but I think it skipped his mind, because that needs to come in so it can sit around and acclimatise to the moisture and heat of the room before he starts laying it. But as soon as that happens, the main kitchen work starts going. So we'll be doing a lot of eating out for a bit when that starts. Oh, he's also got to paint the walls as well. Paint the walls and the kitchen ceiling, so we're probably late next week before we can realistically see anything, any major dismantlement of kitchen. I will repair that now, since we're kind of done with it, and we'll wash it. Okay. So the other nice thing with small farms and small fields, I feel I've achieved quite a bit today. I mean, we've ploughed a couple of fields, we harvested one, we've limed all the ones that need it, and we've already half planted a lot of them. Or we've about planted half of them, I think. Take a look. So 10's planted, 11's half planted, 12's planted, 13 is half planted, and 21's planted. So that's more than half of them. We got 26, 27 to do, and I'm going to do them with this blue cedar. So we will run over here and load this on the tractor. Still got a good supply of fertilizer in it. I believe this is almost empty. Whoops, completely off course there. But it's not like the issues I find with places like Marwell Manor, where I can be sitting there. I'm going going to push this over to the edge of the field. Shouldn't do that, but there we go. Probably lose it in the hedge now. Yeah. Yeah, the problem with Marwell Manor is, if you even if you're playing real time, with a reasonable sized harvester, it can still take you 2 to 3 hours to harvest one field. And that's kind of annoying if you want to progress things. Yeah. I'm sitting here chatting away and doing lots of different tasks, so it's not completely monotonous. So what do I need to do now? Let's select a different thing. Sunflowers, soybeans, sugar beets. We'll do sunflowers. And I'll bring this around here. And park that there. So we'll turn that engine off. Now, actually I suddenly got interested. How much is sugar beet technology? Okay, that's 120,000 to buy. The potato stuff was only 160. That's 160. That's 120. Okay, so the beet harvester is actually cheaper. And we already have a beet planter. So I could seriously think about planting sugar beets up on one of those fields over there. Interesting thought. Well, I'll ponder that. And we can always deliver more manure over to the place with the growing stuff, the nursery, and make some free money that way. It's worth about 10,000 per trip, but obviously I want to get as many fields planted as I can so that I have potential income on its way. Oh, here we are. Go away, birds. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Missed a bit of stuff there. So, yeah. 700. This is going to finish. Still with seed in the tank. Okay then. Well, thank you all for watching. I am going to leave you now. Don't see anybody playing any farming simulator. Let me check. Going to do a refresh. So I've just lost all of the chat that's on screen. No, nobody I follow is playing anything like Farming Simulator 19. And none of my suggesteds are either, so I will wish you all a good night. I need to get some sleep, so have fun. I'll be back again tomorrow morning with a loud studio audience. Good night.